What's up guys, PPD here, and welcome to episode 13 of my road to Manchester City. We're going to be starting off this episode today by going straight into a game of FUT Champions. We ended up qualifying in the nick of time again, which is a little bit worrying because if I want to be able to do good in FUT Champions, I should be able to qualify with ease, but I'm really struggling to qualify, and I don't know how because we end up getting gold most of the time, so that's a little bit weird, but hopefully we can play better in our first game over here of FUT Champions. This time I remembered to click record, and we come across a 4-3-3-2 side, which is the same formation we are playing, but we have an updated team. Unlike the one we used last week where it was Bundesliga and La Liga, this time we're using Premier League and La Liga. We don't even have to do a hybrid, we can just do whatever team we want, but I love the La Liga defense that I have so much that I wanted it to fit with the Premier League team that I wanted to build. He does have the first chance of the game right there. Hamsik with a great run. I don't know how he managed to outpace Pepe to make that run right there, but luckily he ended up missing, and with that he would give his first warning of the game. However, not too long after, we would get a little bit lucky right there as it bounces to Rashford. However, he does shoot it right at Handanovic, but we do win the ball back with Tremolinas, who is honestly one of my favorite defenders in this team because he is not as fast as he used to be, which is a little bit annoying, but he is really good at being a left back. He is very aggressive. While I don't like how much he pushes up, if he's going to push up and score like he just did, I'm not going to complain. So Tremolinas, definitely loving him at left back, and I would definitely recommend him if you're building a French team or a La Liga team, because despite not being as fast as he used to be, he is a very solid left back, and when he scores, he's just even better. So we have the 1-0 lead, and over here we were trying to make it 2 as Schneiderlin gives it to Martial. Martial to Rashford. Rashford back to Schneiderlin. The United trio right there combining, and Schneiderlin gets himself a goal right there. And Schneiderlin was also one of those players that I told you guys last episode I was a little bit iffy about, but he ended up getting himself a goal last episode, and he does it again this time, but in FUT Champions this time around. So Schneiderlin, definitely one of the midfielders that performed way better than I expected to. Fabregas, on the other hand, not so much. So another one I recommend is Schneiderlin. He is a very solid CDM. He's aggressive, his pace is just enough, and he's tall, so he can score headers, and he's strong. So he's very, very good, and his passing isn't too bad either, so definitely recommend him. Our opponent does get a goal back not too long after we score our second, which was a little bit annoying, but it was my mistake because I did rush at him with my center back. And over here, he gets a corner and gets his second goal of the game. And that goal is just something you don't want happening in FUT Champions, when one goal can have a very big impact on a game. So conceding that right there, Oblak saves it. It hits our defender and it goes in. And I just found it so frustrating because we were up 2-0. We gave away a stupid goal, and then we give away an even stupider goal right there, and with that the game is back tied. So we head into the half 2-2, but we can't let those goals affect us because if they get to your head, you will lose most of the time. So we had to stay calm, try and get that third goal, and that's what we would do over here as Conte gives it to Fabregas. And Fabregas, who I just said isn't that great, scores right there, but trust me, he's not that great. He does give us the goal that puts us on top, but I've played a few games already with Fabregas, and I just did not like him at the center mid role, and it was something I definitely feared when I was about to buy him. But I said, you know what? His stats aren't too bad. His passing really, I hope, comes in handy, but he just didn't do it for me. I much preferred Conte, and the other midfielder had Schneiderlin. And I wanted another attacking midfielder, and I just can't find one for a decent price. So that was a bit of a problem too, and one of the reasons I had to go with Fabregas. But definitely don't recommend him because he's just not that great. He ends up grabbing our fourth goal right there, which is actually pretty important because we now have the 2-goal cushion, and it should seal this game. But this was probably Fabregas' best game because I played like a bunch of more games after that, and he was just there half the time. So like I said, if you're going to go for a Premier League midfielder, I don't recommend Fabregas, but he might fit your playstyle, so who knows. But personally, I didn't like him. So we get our first win in FUT Champions in our first game, which is better than we did last week because I think we lost our first 2 games. but we get to winning ways, which is always nice to see. And after that, we go ahead and do a squad builder challenge, because that is just what we do, and I just love these so much. And we take a look at the marquee matchups, and if you guys remember, marquee matchups was actually something we invested in, because I predicted the Marseille and PSG to be one of the requirements, and we bought a bunch of cards from those teams, and it ended up happening, which is great. So I said, I have so many of these players from these clubs, I might as well do the challenge. So we ended up only paying 800 coins for this, because some of them were pack pulled, or most of them were pack pulled. We get the money back just from handing in the reward. We also get ourselves a pack, so that wasn't too bad. However, this one was a little bit bad, because we ended up paying way too much. 9,000 coins for the Ajax and Feyenoord one, and while we did have a couple of Ajax and Feyenoord players, we still had to buy a few, and it also had to be different nationalities, which made it even cost more. So it gave us a chance to use that goalkeeper from Netherlands and Teals, but it just was way too much money to put into it with something I couldn't guarantee a good pack. But hopefully we could get something good from these packs, and we go ahead and start off by opening the gold players pack, and we get ourselves Oscar, which is 83 rated, which makes it good. It also makes it good because I wanted a cam in the Premier League to try out, because I wasn't liking Fabregas and I was thinking of changing formation. However, he's not the cam I would have liked. I would have loved Firmino or Coutinho, and we get to the other cam in the BPL that's Brazilian. So Oscar doesn't go for too much, but definitely gave me a chance to try him out and see what he could do. He didn't end up being that great, to be honest, but whatever. Not a bad pack. We then go ahead and open the next pack. This one does have the Halloween theme to it, so I was kind of hoping a Halloween player, but once again we get another 83 rated player, this time Gleek, who was actually in form not too long ago, but this time we weren't lucky. And we do get a Korean player in there, which is probably the best pull we've had in both packs, because he does go for 4,000 to 5,000 coins because of the Sun Challenge, so that wasn't too bad. So we're going to go ahead and send all of that to the club that doesn't sell for anything. We then go ahead and take a look at our transfer list. We did have some duplicate Sampdoria, I think, players, Genoa players, some from the La Liga that were required for the marquee matchups, and of course the Marseille and PSG players that we invested in, and we did end up making profit on those guys. Look at that. That Deportivo guy sold for 4.9k, and that is the reason why I'm not going to be doing that one, because if you have to pay 5k per Deportivo player, then you're paying way too much. Anyways, we go ahead and take a look at our progress after 10 games. And we were 6-4, which was heartbreaking, because I actually ended up going 4-0 after we won that game, or 3-0 after that game, 4-0 in total. And we ended up after 10 games with 6-4, which is just heartbreaking. But we would try and get gold once again later on, and we'll find out if we do in the next episode. But we go ahead and do the Sampdoria Genoa one. Once again, overpaying. I'm not sure why I did this one, but I really wanted the pack. I think this one was a 25k pack, and maybe that's why I did it. It ended up costing us 8,600 coins, which is less than the one we paid for Feyenoord and Ajax, but still a lot of money. However, this time around the pack was better, so hopefully it can provide for us. Give us something good, pack, please. So we go ahead and open that pack, and who are we going to get this time around? Please, EA, give us someone, and we get ourselves another 83 rated player. So 3 83 rated players, none of them go for anything, except I think Pedro might be the one who goes for more than all of the other 83s that we had, because he might get an inform, because they beat United, which is great for me as a City fan. But whatever. So we're gonna go ahead and send them to the transfer list. I keep the whole kit just because it fits with the Halloween theme, to be honest, but I'm never going to use it. I just like having it. Going to send all of that to the club, and that is going to end this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm out.